Hey, welcome back. Gary Brown Fortune on. Doing doing a whole bunch of surgery update videos today. This is my third one. Too many surgeries in a year and a half there. I'm doing this one as kind of a follow up on my back surgery that I had in June of 2020, right in the middle of the pandemic. In April, my I used to have sciatica. I'm gonna kind of preface this. I used to get sciatica off and on. And then after my hip replacement, I noticed if I started, because I always twisted and limped before my hip replacement, but after my hip replacement, if I just started walking straight, without limping or twisting, the sciatica eased up after just a short amount of time. And so one day in April, I was working in the yard, and my back started hurting. That sciatica hurting down my leg, hurting a lot more and more. So I started trying to just walk straight, and it just kept hurting more and more. And I was trying to walk, and it hurt more and more. And then so I was in the truck, was over at the other place, and I got back, and I was going to do some stuff in the shop, and I basically I don't even think I had to get in the truck and drive up to the house because it's up a hill. It was hurting so bad. I think I barely got my shop locked up or something, and I went inside and I sat in the recliner and I laid back, and that's where I was for the next 8.5 weeks. So I'll link the playlist of all that information about my back surgery I went through. But basically, what happened was my very lowest disc, whatever it is between your bottom vertebrae and your pelvis, tailbone, whatever it is down there, the very bottom disc there was squished down. And apparently that was my sciatica problem. Is it was bulging into that. There's a space behind there, in that back area that has a sciatic nerve running through. And apparently, I guess it was hitting it or something, and caused me to have sciatica. So what happens is that disc ruptured, and all the goop inside that disc just pushed out into that space where that sciatic nerve was. And so if I laid down or if I stayed in a reclining position in my recliner, it took all the weight off, and it pulled all that goop off, and pain went away. But if I sat straight up, walked, stood, anything where my body was upright, it pushed down on that disc, and it shoved back in that thing, and it was this excruciating pain. I tried to just get up, and I'd be up for 10, 20 seconds, and or even just sitting for a matter of 30 seconds, and I'd be in so much pain my legs were shaking, and I'd have to just go as fast as I could and lay down. Go to the doctors. I'd have to call them saying, tell me when I can come in, because I'm laying in my the reclined in the seat of the car, and my wife would drive me in. And I would have her go in, or I'd call them. I say, you just call and tell me when I can come in, because I got to go straight somewhere and lay down. And it was a lot of pain. And so, anyway, long story short, I had what they call I'm having a look at my notes, a anterior lumbar interbody fusion, ALIF. They was going to do both. There's an anterior and a posterior, PLIF. And what all that means is the anterior means you come in from the front of the body, and you go from the front of the body all the way to back to the spine, and take the disc out. You put a bone cage between the vertebrae. Take that disc out of there, put a bone cage in there, and opens it back up. But then that bone cage, they put a titanium plate in front of it so it don't pop out. And then your body will build, just fuse. It'll build bone material right up to that cage, and you'll basically be fused solid between those two joints or two vertebrae. So, and I have another pair of vertebrae that are naturally fused. I hadn't had to have surgery. I crushed the vertebrae like a doorstop. Got bucked off a horse years ago, and they had me in a back brace for something like 8 months, 6 or 8 months, and it naturally fused one to the other. The body just takes care of it and fixed it. So now I got two fused places, but I don't really notice any difference in movement. Not that I'm a big overweight guy, so I'm not very limber anyway. But I just, went through this, and they put that in there, and then what they were going to do is go turn me, basically do that one surgery one day. The next day I go in for a second surgery, and they were going to go into the back, and they actually, those little like bone wing things, I don't know what the terminology is, that comes off the spine. They clip one of those out of the way so they can get in there and dig some more of that disc out. And then because those little wing things on your bones are like a tripod, and they give you stability. Well, when they remove one, there's no stability. And so that's the way the doctor described it. And so what they had to do then is they had to put those rods in your back. And so now you got rods in your back and a titanium plate on the front. So when I had my surgery, he went in the front, took that out. They had me get up and walk after the surgery, and I had a little pain from the incision, but it was nothing compared to my back pain. So even though I got a scar about that long, probably 5-6 inch long scar or something like that, right in my lower belly, where they had to go in. They have two surgeons. You have the orthopedic surgeon, but you have a vascular surgeon. The vascular surgeon gets all your guts out of the way and all the veins and all the stuff that's in, so they can basically dig down in there to get to the spine. Then the orthopedic does his thing, and then the vascular surgeon puts everything back in place and sews you up. So after that, had me get up, like I said, had the pain from the incision, but it was pretty minor. I got up and, with my walker and all this, carrying, IVs and bags and whatever with me, and went walking around the nurse's station and back, and I was almost in tears, had no pain. It was just wonderful. I mean, it was like tears of joy. And so the doctor came in, he said, we'll try it 2 more times. And if you still don't have any pain, we'll cancel the posterior surgery. So I got up 2 more times, walked up and down different aisles, and I was like apologizing to the nurse, and the aides that were helping me. I was like, I'm sorry, I was just making them walk all over the place with me, because I was just, they wouldn't let me go by myself, but they were like, no, that's fine. They were real nice. They were sweet people. And so, everything went great, and they canceled the second surgery. And so I never had to have any rods put in my back. I had the titanium plate. I have a picture. I'll try to see if I can, stick the picture in here somewhere that shows. I'll try to do a close-up that shows my. I might be able to see the bone cage. You can definitely see the metal. It'll be like a rectangle. That's the titanium plate on the front there. I'll try to get a picture, because you can see the bone cage in there where it's got the little lattice works. It looks like a little cage, and it fits in that joint. And you can see a rectangular, just a shiny spot, and that's the titanium plate that's screwed into the above and below the disc to hold that cage in place. They can actually go in and take that plate out, but they're not going to risk cutting you back open, digging all through your guts just to take that little plate out and go through all that again. So they just leave it. I'm fine with that, because your back, your spine's not going to move there anyway, because it's going to be all fused. So having a plate there ain't going to hurt anything. And but that's it. Like I said, as far as my back goes, I'm so grateful to have that done. I have no problems anymore. My biggest issue now is I have to watch it. I had 2 bulging discs. My other vertebrae disc looked great, but that disc was ruptured, and the one above it, he actually wanted to do it, but insurance wouldn't allow it because it hadn't ruptured or anything, but it was just squished down and bulging. But it doesn't affect anything. But the good thing is now that I've had that done, what did I say, it was 2020 to now, so it's been June to now, so a little over a year and a half, year and 7 months or something, whatever that works out to, June 2020 to January 2022. I have not had any more sciatica whatsoever. Had no back pain. I just try to watch. I'm a big guy. I've always been a big guy. I've always, just picked up way too much stuff and too much weight. And I really have to. I go to do that, and I think better not. Because one, that cage. I just recently had another X-ray for my knees, and they wanted to check my hip. And in taking the picture of the hip, you can actually still see that bone cage, and that's what I'll probably try to show the picture of, one side here or the other. You can see the bone cage, and you can still see the lattice work. It still isn't completely solid. It'll take probably, I think they said take years or something. I forget how long they take. It told me it would take before it's completely fused over. And maybe you can always see the lattice work. I don't know. See that cage, but anyway. So I don't want to crush it, and I don't want to make that other bulging disc that's right above it, and the vertebrae above that. I don't want to affect it any. So I just had to be smarter, not, a big dumb ox and try to pick up everything. So, live and learn. It only took me 62 years to live and learn it. So, y'all have a blessed day. I hope this helps. If you're going through the surgery, I feel for you. I know what kind of pain you're having. Sometimes it's bulging disc ruptures, and it does not go into a nerve like mine did. So maybe it's not quite as bad, but it's still very painful. People say they got back pain. Trust me, it's you don't want that. It's awful painful. And I hope it helps you out. Y'all have a blessed day, and we'll talk to you later. If you have any questions, leave them below, or and I'll either answer them in the comments, or I'll make another video if it's too long of an answer. And just let me know what you think. Anyway, talk to you later. Bye-bye.